Try to, as we forward fold, trace the hands down and just relax. You can sway side to side, loosening up the back, awakening the spine. And a ragdoll. Nice soft knees. Maybe draw little circles on the floor with your fingertips. Reverse the direction of the circle, going the other way. And then when we come to the center, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. We're going to come to a standing position. Shake your head yes, loosen up the neck. And then scoop forward, reaching to the sun. For our sun salutation, just go at your own pace. Let the hands come down towards the ground, or you just place your hands on the legs. So we'll step back to a push-up plank. Now that push-up plank might be on the knees, the toes. Just do what's best for your body today. And we'll slowly lower down. You can hover or relax to the mat. And we'll look forward to a cobra or upward dog. Elbows can be bent or straight. Have a nice soft neck. Then the toes dig into the mat, the hips lift up and back. Shoulders drop. We'll think of pulling the stomach in. So we suck in the belly and push the hips back a little farther. Shoulders start to drop and we dig the fingertips into the mat to protect the wrists. And then slowly walk the dog, bend one knee, then the other, alternating the feet. Now you can be on the knees if that's more comfortable. It's called a puppy dog. And this is our full downward dog. We're going to walk the feet in towards your hands and roll up. One vertebrae at a time, shoulders lifting to the ears, pushing back and down. Shaking your head yes. And then bend the knees and scoop forward again. Lifting to the sun. Hands coming out and down. Fingertips to the mat. And we'll step back to push-up plank. And then slowly lower down. You can hover or relax to the mat. And then we'll look forward to a cobra or upward dog, breathing in. And then the toes dig back into the mat, hips lift up and back. Shoulders drop. And the downward dog or puppy dog on the knees if you choose. Always being gentle with the body. Release comparisons. Every body is different, so everybody will be different in their poses today. I'm gonna walk the dog, bending one knee then the other. Remember, if anything hurts, back off, don't do it. Just wait till the next pose. We move through them pretty quickly with lots of options. Walk the feet in, and we'll slowly roll up. Shoulders roll back and down, shake your head yes. Adjusting the feet, hands go out and up. For our crescent moon, we'll lean to the left. Fingertips can be together or apart. We think of pushing that right foot into the mat, right hip pushing out to the side. Some people bring the foot back, depending on the curvature you would like in your crescent moon. Allow the left hand to drop down. Right palm turns up, elbow pulls back. We look up to see the ceiling, opening the rib cage, opening the shoulder. Then stand tall, placing your hand on your head. The head fall over to that right side, wiggling the left fingers. And then start to rotate the palm, turning up and down a couple times. And we'll slowly lift with each rotation, warming up the shoulder deltoid muscles. And then hands come together at the top. Down heart center, little pressure with the palms. Take a deep breath in, expand the rib cage, exhale out. Another big breath in. And exhaling. Exhale a little longer than the inhale. You're gonna lace your fingers and push the palms out and away. Shoulders roll back and down, loosen up the neck. Breathing in and exhaling out. And then the hands come together for our lotus flower. Elbows come closer. It's okay if they don't touch. We're gonna lift the flower. Foot can get a little sunlight. We start to feel that stretch underneath the scapula. Breathing in and exhaling. Hands come down into the spider, fingertips touch, and the palms go in and out. Keeping our hands strong and stretched. Lift the hands straight up and over to the right. Left heel pushes into the mat. Left foot can come back if you would like. However you choose. Hands can be together or apart in our crescent moon. Now we allow the right hand to drop down. Left palm turns up. Elbow pulls back. We look up to see the sun. Breathing in and exhaling. Now place your hand on top of your head. Head falls over to the left. Letting the stretch come down the neck, wiggling the fingers. Rotate the arm, turning palm up and down a couple times. And then we'll slowly begin to lift. And then we're going to push the palms up to the sky, breathing in and exhaling out. Another deep breath in, lifting the roof off the building, holding as we exhale, bringing the fingertips back, really pushing the palm up. And the fingertips are pulling towards the ground. It's important to stretch the forearms. Last big breath in, hands come out and down. Walk in place, wiggle the fingers, the toes, shoulders roll back and down. We're going to bring left leg straight back behind you. Lift the heel up and down a couple times. And then we're going to cross our hands in front, lifting up to the sky and open at the top. Now this is called our princess in the valley. She travels up to the mountain, up high. Take a big breath in, smell the fresh air on top of the mountain. And exhale out. One more time. And we'll hold at the top. Hands coming out. Feeling the opening of the shoulders and then lift straight back up to our warrior one. I feel the shoulders drop. Nice soft neck. You have that space between the ear and the shoulder. Big stretch on that back heel, up the calf. We're actually going to go to a bowing warrior, tightening around the rib cage. We're going to change your focal point of your eyes down to the big toe, melting to the front. Now you can have one hand on the knee or both hands on the knee as we slowly forward fold, increasing that stretch on the back leg. Now, once you come down, you might have one hand or both hands dropping towards the ground. You can let the arms sway. It might be one hand. And then we're going to place both hands on the front knee, shift your weight forward and back. We're going to dig that back heel into the mat as it pushes down, belly button pulls in, and then I want you to slide the hips back. So the chest just came a little bit closer, kind of hinged at the hip. And your hands can stay on the knee, or you can take one hand and reach to the back wall, or both hands. We're going to think of flattening out the spine, hips still pushing back, both heels digging into the mat. We're tucking in the chin, pushing the crown of the head forward. So we have a nice long tabletop on our back. Our spine is lengthened. We're strengthening the front ankle, the front knee. We're stretching the back calf. Our bowing warrior today. Now we will be engaging the core, the center of the body, the muscles around the spine. As we lower the hands down, tighten as if someone's going to poke you in your stomach. You would brace yourself. We're going to slowly lift up. Now you can have your hands on the knee. You can have your hands forward. As we push, digging that front foot into the mat and tightening the glutes back behind you to lift the body strong. Now we're going to bring your hands together, down heart center, and look over the right shoulder. Adding a little spinal twist, revolving that warrior one. Now we're still thinking of pushing that back heel into the mat, getting a nice deep stretch. Anytime you need to bend or straighten the knee, go ahead and do so. That back leg wants to bend, untwist a little bit if it's bending. We'll take one last big breath in. And exhale, come back forward, place your hands on the front knee. We're gonna rock back and forth in what's called a rocking horse, lifting up that front toe a couple times, getting tension off of the heels and the ankles. Walk in place, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. We'll stand hip distance apart again, like our feet are on a railroad track, and then we'll bring the right leg back. Front knee is bent. Lift the heel up and down a couple times now that you know what's coming. We're gonna lift the hands out and up. Starting at the top, is our princesses in the mountain. She's gonna come down in front, crossing the hands. She travels to the valley. Take a big breath in and exhaling. It could be a small movement, big movement, whatever feels best for your body. Just opening up the rib cage, opening up the shoulders. Big breath in, exhale, all the way down. Last time, relaxing, and hold the hands up for our warrior one, sinking into the stretch. We're really strengthening that front ankle, really stretching the back leg, nice long calf stretch today. Now it's going to be a bowing warrior, so we find that focal point for our eyes. Slowly let it melt down towards the big toe. Your hands can be on the knee, one hand or both hands, forward or down. We're slowly melting to the front and hinging at the hip, still pushing that back heel into the mat. When you come down towards the ground, your arms might sway, loosening up the shoulders, loosening up any tension. Now our legs are holding in one spot, so you do not have to look at me. You can look down at the ground and then place your hands on the knee. Rock back and forth, shifting your weight, and then shift your weight all the way back. Slide the hips to the back wall, belly button pulls in, so we kind of suck in the stomach to push the hips back a little farther. Then reach one hand or both hands back behind you. Let the shoulders push away from the ears, so fingertips are reaching to the back wall. Really digging the toes and the heels into the mat. Belly button pulling in. Push the crown of the head forward. We're really lengthening the spine here. Chin tucking in. Maybe even raise the eyebrows to stretch a little longer. And then we'll slowly lower the hands down. Belly button pulls in. Tighten around the rib cage. Your hands can come forward. You might have a hand on the front knee. So slowly lift, digging that front foot into the mat. And right into our warrior one. And then hands come together and down heart center. We're going to look over your left shoulder. Turn the head, then rotate the spine. Is there a spinal twist for revolved warrior one? Just revolving the spine. And then slowly look back forward. And then untwist. Place your hands on the front knee, rock back and forth, lift up the front toe a couple times in that rocking horse. And back and forth. And then we're actually going to open to the side of the room, turning both toes out. Bend and straighten the knees. Lifting up and down as you please here. And then we'll lift up towards the sky. We're going to come out to the sides in a frog pose. So it's a tree frog, elbows bend, the knees bend. Now we're getting comfortable. You can go down as low or high as you would like. But we're thinking of pulling the elbows back. Fingertips are spreading wide, stretching the palm of the hands. Now some people lift their heels. Some people have their heels on the ground. So you just choose what's best for your body. So we just open up the rib cage. Now the tailbone is pushing down towards the ground, maybe even slightly forward as we suck in the stomach. Nice long spine, chin tucking in. One last big breath in, lower the heels if they're up. Stand up tall and release the hands out and down. Turn your toes forward. Push the hips back for a wide angle forward fold. Belly button pulls in. Hands slide down the legs. Hands can be anywhere you'd like. Feet, they might touch the floor. They even might reach back behind you. We're gonna hold here and think of shaking your head yes. Now, if your head's tucking under, you might think of lengthening it out, making a nice straight spine, crown of the head pushing out and forward and away. This just changes the stretch on the hamstring as you straighten out the spine versus curving it here. But if you rather have the curve stretch, that's okay. With a straighter spine, it gets deeper into the hamstring. Shake your head no if you haven't already. And then shake your head yes. Now, if you tend to get a little bit dizzy, your head can just be about heart level or waist level. And then we're going to slowly start to walk your hands up the legs. Rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Tighten the glutes to propel yourself tall. Engaging the core, shoulders roll back and down. Now from here, we're actually going to turn that left toe out. Bend and straighten the left knee. And we're going to touch that left knee, bringing it back. Look down and see the big toe. So you feel the inner thigh stretch. Then relax the shoulders down, stretching the arms away from the body. Breathing in. Toes push into the mat. And then dig the heels down so they really drive to the ground. Or turn the head looking over the left shoulder. Pushing fingertips away from the torso. We're going to turn left palm up when you're ready to reverse our warrior two. Lifting up towards the sky, you can wiggle the fingers on that left hand. You might rotate the arm. We're thinking of stretching really long from the hip through the fingertips. Arm can be straight. It can be bent. You can even have your hand on top of your head, bringing the elbow back to open up the rib cage a little bit more. So there's a lot of options here. Your warrior two. Really feel that length in the back of the arm, that tricep, the elbow bent or straight, really lengthening. And then we'll slowly lower down halfway, lift the back arm up. Straighten the front knee. We're going to think of pushing your hips over to the right, fingertips reach to the left, and then slowly windmill down till fingertip touches the ground or the leg. It does not have to touch the ground. I want you to be comfortable where you're at. We are thinking of that right hand. Think of putting it on the shoulder and bringing that shoulder back so the spine is lengthening down the waistline. Now your hand can be on the hip, that's more comfortable, or it can be high to the sky, or even reaching over your head. So you have a lot of options here. Left hand can be anywhere you choose, and you can look down at the ground to the side of the room or up to the sky. So rotating the neck, the spine, wherever it feels comfortable. Trying to create a lot of triangles with all our straight lines with our arms or legs or torso. Now when you're ready, we're going to walk left fingertips up the leg. Right hand drops down nice and slow. Bend and straighten the knee. It might have some tension on it. We're going to turn both toes forward. Walk your feet in nice and slow. Rock side to side. Wiggle the ankles, the toes. The penguin pose, it's a little wobbly, a little wiggly. And then when you're ready, we will turn our right toe out. You might walk the toes out if they're a little too far in. You bend the knee, place your right hand on the right knee. It comes back and we see the big toe on the inside, stretching the inner thigh and lifting up halfway. Shoulders relax down. And then we turn your head looking over the right shoulder. Toes dig into the mat, heels drop down. Gently stretching. As the toes and heels are engaged, we'll turn right palm up, left hand drops. Wiggle the fingers, rotate the arm, feel that stretch from the right hip through the fingertip. If you have the arm bent, you're going to feel that stretch through the elbow. Your hand could also be on your head, bringing the elbow back. Listening to what your body needs today. And a reverse warrior two. One last big breath in. We'll lower down halfway. Lift the back arm up. Take another big breath in. We're going to straighten right knee, reach right fingertips. One direction, hips push to the left. We slowly windmill down till fingertip touches the leg, the foot, the floor. It does not matter. Now, from here, your left hand might be on the heart, bringing the shoulder back. It might be on the hip. It might be high to the sky or over your head. You choose what you need in your triangle pose, creating all those triangles today. Slowing the breath, breathing in, and making that exhale a little longer than the inhale. Might even be twice as long. The body relaxes on the exhale. The muscles lengthen on the exhale. Really digging the toes into the mat. We'll slowly walk the right hand up, lifting up when you're ready. Hands come down. Turn your toes forward, walk your feet in. Rock side to side in that penguin pose. Any tension off the ankles, the toes. And we're going to do a side lunge right here, walking your hands down to your knees. Shift your weight side to side, left to right, right to left. And legs can be as wide or as close together as you choose. We're going to bend the left knee and tap the right toe, toe lifting up and down a couple times. And then you determine whether you want the toe up or down. Hands can be anywhere you choose. They might be one on each leg. You might have a hand on the floor. You might have both hands on the same leg. It might be the bent knee, the straight leg. Some people add a really big bend to the knee or just a little one. So you determine. You have a lot of options. I like to suck in the stomach, pulling the belly button in, pushing the hips back a little farther. Last big breath in here. Exhale, push all the air out. Then place one hand on each leg, shift your weight side to side. If you're getting a little dizzy, keep your head above your heart or above that waistline. Shift your weight to the right and tap the left toe, lifting up and down a couple times here. And then determine where you want that stretch. It might be with the toe up, it might be with the toe down. Your hands can be one on each leg. You can have a hand on the floor. You can have your hands both on the same leg. A little bend, a big bend in the knee. Just adjusting for what your body needs. Yoga is for you, so go at your own pace. One last deep breath in. Exhale out. And then when you're ready, slowly straighten the legs, walk hands up the legs. I'm gonna roll up one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Moving the spine, shoulders roll back and down. Walk your feet in a little bit at a time. We're gonna go back to that penguin pose, rocking side to side, wiggling the fingers, the toes, and then return to the front of the mat. Grab water anytime you need. Try to stay hydrated. You're flushing toxins. Pushing out lactic acid, shoulders will roll back and down. Loosen up the fingers, the toes. You're gonna get ready to go to the ground today. Hands lifting up. Relax the shoulders down, breathe in. And then push the palms towards the sky again. Think of lifting that rib cage off the hips. Your weight kind of shifts, toes to heels, the toes to heels, until you find that nice balance spot. Bringing the fingertips back, really stretching forearm. Breathing in, exhaling out. Another big breath in. And then the hands come out and down. You can trace your hands down the back of the legs. It's called brushing the earth. To wherever it feels comfortable. Some people lace their fingers and hold with the hands behind the knees or fold their arms behind the knees. But if you would like, just relax down with the arms. Sway side to side in that ragdoll, a little bend in the knees if you would like. Might even draw those little circles on the floor with your fingertips. And reverse the direction, going the other way. And we'll place the fingers on the floor. Step back with one foot, then the other. Belly button pulls in, hips push back, shoulders drop. Breathing in and exhaling out. In our downward dog, we're actually going to our pose of the month for July. We're going to bend the left elbow. Maybe come on to the right elbow, nice and slow. And you feel that dolphin pose. Now, if that's uncomfortable, you can be on the knees or on the toes. It's a deeper stretch on the back of the legs and the feet. Belly button still pushing in, hips still pushing back, shoulders dropping, really strengthening the muscles around the shoulders and arms. In your dolphin. You take a big breath in. And then exhale down, the knees will come towards the ground. Relax the toes, relax the feet. Shift your weight back. Your hands can be forward as we're in the child's pose, or it could be out to the side or next to the feet. The child's pose is a resting pose used to slow the heart rate. Shifting the weight, hips might continue to push back. It's wherever you feel comfortable. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift the hips up, place your hands underneath your shoulders, lift one knee, then the other, tuck your head under for the cat pose, rounding the spine. Belly button pulling in, hips pushing back. In our cat today. And then we'll extend forward to the cow. So we start off slow, shoulders push away, hips push back. Nice long neck. Bring your bottom lip over the top lip, stretching the jawline. Exhale, tucking under. Belly button pulling in. Inhale, looking forward to that cow. Exhale to the cat. Inhale to the cow, extending. And then come to a nice flat back for a side cat. The right shoulder goes to the right hip, looking at the right hip. And then the left shoulder to the left hip. Wagging the tail of the cat today. And then we'll come back to the center. Shift your weight back just a little bit, and we're going to turn one wrist under. So the palm is facing back towards you, and you start to feel the stretch up the forearm. Now we'll do one hand at a time. I want you to still think of pulling the belly button in. Hips might be shifting back. You can be forward, just be gentle with the body where you're at. Now we're going to change, flipping the wrist over and changing to the other side. We're stretching the hands, stretching down the arms, breathing in and exhaling out. Big breath in and exhaling. And then we'll turn the hands over. Place fingertips onto the mat. Shift your weight all the way to the front, laying down on the front of the mat. From here, we're going to extend out the right arm for our scarecrow. As that right arm extends, we support with the left hand, lift up the rib cage, and drop the right shoulder down. Now, it can be anywhere to the side that it feels comfortable, so be gentle with the body as we stretch around the shoulder. Lift up the chin, and then place that right ear on the mat as we look to the right side of the room. If you would like, stack the hips. That left hip on top of the right hip. You might find the left foot falls and touches the floor behind. Now this is a twist on the spine, so be gentle with the body. If anything hurts, back off, just roll back onto the stomach. Left hand can be extended out to the side in your scarecrow, or left hand can be on the hip, might fall back behind. Just choosing what's best for your body. Left hand touches the floor. We'll roll back onto your stomach and extend out the left arm. Support with the right hand. Lift up the rib cage, drop that left shoulder down in your scarecrow, lift up the chin, and rest the ear on the mat. Stack the hips if you would like. With right hip on top of the left, that right foot falls back behind. Right hand can extend out. Right hand can be on the right hip. Whatever feels best. Remember to be careful with the spine. Gentle with the body if you need to roll onto the stomach. This helps to stretch around the deltoid muscles, but across the front of the chest, the pectoral muscles are lengthening out. You might even be stretching into your bicep. You can engage the fingertips to push into the mat. Using a little of that resistance training, resistant lengthening. One last big breath in and roll onto your stomach. Both arms extending for the moment, and we'll lift up off the mat. In your prone cobra, toes might be off the mat or they could be down, so you choose. Fingertips might be touching the ground, or you can lift them up. Just strengthening the muscles around the spine, the center core of the body. And then bring your hands forward. You can add a little swimming motion if you would like, alternating hands and feet. Or you can hover or just relax on the mat. So we get ready for our Sphinx, slowing the hands down, dragging the fingertips in, elbows pushing into the mat. Chest is pushing forward. You might even think of bringing the belly button to the front of the room, trying to show it to the sun. Breathing in and exhaling, sitting tall and proud, the front of the Egyptian pyramids, the Sphinx. And we'll use this as our base pose for our bow and arrow, bending your right knee, pushing that right hip into the mat. And then if you would like, reach back, holding onto the foot, the sock, the pant leg. You choose what feels best. You might be using no hands at all. You can just shift the weight, pushing it into the ground. Now you can use the same hand. You can use the opposite hand. Some people use both hands, both feet. I give you enough time to do one side and then the other. You can put a little resistance, pushing that foot away from the hand, back behind you, creating that tension. You can lift up the knee a little bit off the ground, just adjusting to where you feel comfortable and where you need the stretch. One last big breath in our bow. We'll slowly release, bend and straighten the knee, and change sides, bending that left knee. We're thinking of pushing that left hip into the mat. Trace your hand down and around the knee, holding onto the foot, the sock, the pant leg, or nothing at all. It can be the same hand, opposite hand, both hands, no hands, both feet. This is one of the most important poses for your body. It stretches the quadriceps and then into that hip flexor. That hip flexor is bent almost all day long. You sit in a chair, car, couch, computer with that knee pulled into the chest. So we're trying to bring the knee back. Lengthen the muscle back out. Will also help to relax that muscle when we do our little bridges today. We'll slowly release, bend and straighten the knee. You should do those bow poses multiple times throughout the day. Now we're going to bend both knees and let the legs sway side to side in what's called a pendulum or windshield wiper. And then lower the feet down. We're going to place your hands underneath your shoulders, lift the hips up to the sky, bring the knees out a little bit wider, push the hips back into your wide angle child's pose, or it could be a frog pose. You want to bring your elbows towards the knees, dropping the head down, letting it rest on the mat wherever it's comfortable, turning the head one way or the other. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, lift up to all fours, bring the knees in. Readjust, tuck your head under. One little cat right here. And then we'll go back onto your elbows. Extend out the right leg, flex the foot, bend the knee, push the heel towards the sky, taking a deep breath in, and your sunbird. Getting that tension, ankle, knee, hip, the glute, stretching out the front of the leg. And then the knee comes down, it's going to cross over the foot at the bottom. It's a cross-leg child's pose. Now you might rock forward and back, letting that toe kind of saw on the floor. So we're kind of sliding into the stretch, rock side to side with the hips. So we're adjusting so we can stretch around the knees and the outside of the legs. Shift your weight forward and back, side to side. And then when you're ready, determine whether you want your head down. Your hands can be forward, or you can place your hands next to your knees and lift your head up. Hips can even push back towards the feet. So this is a self-adjusting pose. You get to decide what your body needs with the head up, down, hands forward, back, hips to the front or the back. So you stretch around the knees, around the outside of the hips, the outside of the legs. Cross-leg child's pose, or it's the bottom half of our cow face. I'm going to slowly lift up, come forward onto the elbows and change. So we'll uncross the legs and lift up your right leg, flexing the foot, bending the knee and pushing the heel towards the sky, or whichever leg you didn't do before. So the leg that was on top, we're going to change. Take a deep breath in. From your sunbird, we're going to bring the knee down, cross it over the foot at the bottom. I'm going to rock forward and back. You might find that top leg saws on the floor. I'm going to shift your weight side to side, loosening up any tension in the hips. And determine whether you want your head down low with the hands forward, or your hands can come next to your knees, hips push back, head can lift up. So hips forward or back, hands to the front or to the center, head up or down. So we hold our cross-leg child's pose. We'll take one last big breath in. We'll lift up onto our hands and cross the legs. Come onto your elbows to stretch the triceps. We bring the hands together in a prayer pose. Walk the elbows as far forward as you can. Shift your weight back. Now toes might be digging into the mat. They might be curled. They might be flat, footed. But as we push the hips back, our elbows start to drag towards the body, towards the knees, creating a little tension on the floor with the elbows. That prayer is behind the head. Our shoulders drop. The shoulders drop, you start to feel that stretch under the arm, maybe up the tricep. Belly button pulls in and we push the hips towards the feet a little bit more. Big breath, expanding the rib cage. Exhale, empty out all the air, empty out all the toxins. Lower the hands down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, lift the head up, lean to the side, and bring your feet around to the front. Taking out any tension that you might have. Shoulders roll back and down. And we're gonna bend the left knee, cross that left foot over. The right hand comes to the front. Left hand comes back behind you. So you turn your torso, your shoulders, your neck to look to the back. Full spinal twist sitting down today. You can give that front knee a hug. You can just create tension with the hand, the elbow, and the knee. Breathing in and exhaling out. And then we'll come back to the front, untwisting, cradling the baby, bending one knee or bending that top knee, lifting up the foot to loosen up the hip. Now, as we cradle and rock the baby, your hands can be anywhere on the legs, the knee, the foot. You can bring that baby in close to cradle it. Another option is to bend the straight leg, let your arms have a rest, and cradle and rock the baby with that front leg. Just kind of loosening up the body, loosening up the hip, loosening up the lower spine. And then let's place this foot down. I'm going to lift the knee up, straighten the leg, shake out any tension you might have, and we'll change sides, bending the right knee. Crossing the foot over if you'd like. Left hand comes forward, right hand behind your back. Turning the torso, the shoulders, the neck. That spinal twist sitting down. Always wiggle the fingers here. Take one last big breath in. Come back forward. Untwisting and place one hand on the knee, one hand on the foot, or anywhere on the leg to cradle the baby. It can be as close or as far away as you need. Have it all the way in. Or you can even have the foot on the front leg, giving the arms a rest, rocking side to side. If your hands are behind you, think of rolling the shoulders back. So you can stretch down into the bicep, breathing in and exhaling out. And then from here, we'll place the foot on the floor, lengthen the legs out long, shake out any tension you might have. And we're going to take the legs a little wider. It does not matter how wide. You just self-adjust, rock side to side, adjusting the sits bones, and then walk your hands forward. Take a big breath in. And exhale, walking hands to the right side. We're going to lengthen the left hand forward towards the big toe. Thumb turns down, pinky turns up. We're going to inhale, lifting, giving each other a big high five for coming today. And then somewhere right here in the middle, I want you to think of lifting the rib cage. We're going to stretch from the hip through the fingertips, like your hand's a shooting star pushing away. Kind of created this rainbow over your head, and we're pushing out from the body. Taking a big breath in and exhaling, expanding out and away. Right hand, it does not matter where it's at. Just along to the right. And we are going to do a reverse triangle. As the left hand comes down, it touches the right foot or the right leg. Bring right hand behind you, and we look to the back wall. It's a low spinal twist. Also stretching the hamstring or the back of the leg on the right. We're stretching the left hip and the lower back on the left. Might be stretching into the center of the back, maybe underneath the shoulder blade, the scapula, stretching here. Then walk both hands back to the leg and then to the center. In the middle, rock side to side, readjusting. And then both hands walk to the left. We're going to reach right hand towards the big toe. Right thumb turns down, pinky turns up, and we lift up towards the sky. Make that little rainbow overhead. And then as we come back, we feel that stretch from the hips through the fingertips, pushing away from the body. Your hand's the shooting star. It does not matter which direction it's going. It's just lengthening out and away. Lifting out as we breathe in, expanding the rib cage. And exhale, reach a little farther. So that length comes on the exhale. Now right hand drops down to the left leg, and the left hand or left arm comes behind you as we look over the left shoulder or to the back of the room. Reverse triangle sitting down. And we'll slowly come back forward. And bring your legs to the center, readjust. Shoulders roll back and down, shake your head yes. We'll bend the knees and roll like a ball onto your back. Rolling back and forth a couple times, or you can lean to the side to come onto your back. And massage it out. Rolling like a ball. And then from here, as we end up on our back, we'll place your hands on your knees and draw a little circular motion, massaging right between the hip bones. And then reverse the direction, going the other way. Place your feet on the floor for a bridge pose. Lift the hips up off the mat, digging toes and heels down into the ground, strengthening the knees, the ankles, strengthening the glutes and the lower back. Abdominals are engaged. Center core. This allows gravity to shift your weight down, getting fresh oxygen to your brain, helping you to have a clear mind. It also creates space between your organs. Everything is shifting. We're going to lift the heels up, take a deep breath in. And then from the shoulders, we'll roll down one vertebrae at a time till the tailbone's the last thing to touch the floor. Now from here, lift the belly button up. So we're going to create a little space under the back and what I call our little bridges. As if you have a river running underneath your spine. You're making room for the water to pass. Then push the belly button down, lift the hips just a little bit off the ground. So it's a small bridge, or we're doing a little bit of a pelvic tilt. We're going to lower the hips down, lift the belly button up again to create that space under the body. You might have a little gondola ride that goes underneath the bridge. Push the belly button down, lift the hips up. And then the hips come down, belly button lifts up. One more time. This is releasing the psoas muscle, hip flexor, attaches to the back of the spine, hips lift up. And then everything lowers down, let the knees sway side to side. Nice spinal twist. Both legs fall to the left. And we just hold in the low spinal twist. If you'd like, you can place the left foot on top of the right knee or keep the left foot on the floor. We're going to think of lifting up that right hip, pushing it high to the sky, and then lowering it down. If the left foot's on top, place it gently on the floor. Let the knees sway side to side, loosening up any tension you might have. Let the legs fall to the right. Now we're going to push. That left hip up to the sky. Right foot might be on top of the left knee, or it can be on the floor. As the left hip lifts up, we then let it drop back down. Feeling that extra stretch from the knee to the shoulder, across the hip, off the side of the waistline, rib cage. Low spinal twist. Bring the knees to the center and into the chest. Give them a little squeeze, a gentle hug. We'll rock side to side, opening your arms like a letter T at the top of the mat. Let the legs fall to the left. And then extend out one leg or both legs, whatever feels comfortable as they fall to the side. And we look to the right. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Bring the knees back to the center, rock side to side a couple times, readjust the spine, and allow the legs to fall to the right. Lengthen out one leg or both legs, whatever feels comfortable. Your full spinal twist lying down. Bring the knees into the center, rock side to side. Readjust the spine and lengthen the legs up as we go to our joyful happy baby. Hands can be around the legs, the feet, yogi toe grip if you would like. So we allow the legs to fall to the sides and rock the baby from side to side if we choose. When I think of lengthening the spine to the front of the room and then creating a bowl with the body, so we kind of hollow out the stomach, push the belly button down to the ground, wrap the tailbone around and up to the sky. Our joyful happy baby. And then bring the knees back to the center. Give the knees a squeeze, a gentle hug. Place your feet on the floor, lengthen your toes to the front of the room, fingertips to the back of the room, stretching, growing a little longer, a little taller. And then our hands come down next to our legs. Roll the shoulders back and down, flex the feet, make a fist with the hands, and tighten all the muscles in the body. Tighten, tighten, squeeze. And then release. Feeling the difference of the relaxed body. This is the corpse pose. It's used for rest and relaxation. And just kind of close your eyes, clear your mind, let your body be at peace. Keeping your eyes closed, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And we'll roll over onto your right side. When you're ready, open your eyes, walk yourself up to an easy sit position. Legs can be crossed or straight. We'll draw a little circular motion. And then reverse the direction, going the other way. We'll come to the center and lift the shoulders to the ears. Push back and down. The hands fall to the sides. We'll inhale up to the sky. Down heart center, a little pressure with the palms. And we'll inhale, lifting back up. Hands extend out. Inhale for the body. Exhale, pushing out soft hands. Inhale for the mind. And inhale for the spirit. Bring your hands heart center. And namaste. And thanks for coming to yoga today.